There we go. Crap, man. How come it's not going? 1 second, you guys. All right, folks. We are live on Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and yeah, those are the 4 or 5 main ones. Oh, we're also live on Telegram now. Also, so be sure to subscribe to the channels and the pages on in the description. It's all there. Don't forget to check out the Bonfire store. All the funds from that go to the CPS Family Court Corruption Victims Fund. This is News for Us World's Fringe Division podcast, episode 5, UFOs, disclosure, and more. And we're going to be doing some updates, kind of a follow up to episode 1. So let's get started. I'm running like 3 hours late, you guys. Had an unexpected minor emergency I had to take care of, so family related, you know how it goes. Anyways, that got taken care of, but we have to make I wanted to make sure the show got done because I was really looking forward to this. So the show must go on, as they say. So we're doing it now, regardless of how late we are. We're just doing it a little bit later than usual, folks. So let's see. Let's begin and let's play a little intro here, and then we'll segue into getting into our actual content for our show. Okay, folks, so let us. Where did I go here? Oh, that's why. There we go. I had to switch over to the scene. All right, sorry about that, folks. Uh-oh. Hold on, guys. No, no, no. Come on, go away, go away. Stop. Screw it. I'll do the Telegram one later. No, never mind. There we go. There we go. I got it. All right. Sorry about that, folks. That was probably a little bit of feedback for you guys. Not very fun or pleasant, I'm sure. Anyways, I forgot how to mute the volume on Telegram, but I got it. I think we're still live there too. All right. So we have some breaking news. We have last week, NASA announced that it was going to officially start investigating UFOs. It's officially acknowledging that it's going to actually look into UFOs and start investigating UFO claims and sightings. So, I mean, regardless of the fact that, okay, obviously it's, the mainstream's attempt to get, kind of keep control of the narrative in their favor. It's disclosures coming, whether you believe the secret space program theory or you just believe what you see on the mainstream right now, which is what they're acknowledging. Finally, UFOs are real, yada yada yada. There's been an unexplained pregnancies for a couple months ago. They were acknowledging, talking about that due to a DIA report that was released out of the Pentagon, referencing a time. The report was actually made in 2010, but it was released just last year. Anyways, there's a lot going on. I just wanted to kind of give people updates because there's a hell of a lot going on. Very a lot going on. I mean, just in last week alone, a lot's happened. So the NASA thing happened. They're taking it seriously. So that's the mainstream now officially acknowledging that this is a legitimate phenomenon, and it's been given more credibility. And not only in the well, yeah, in mainstream circles, academic circles, this is going to be something that it's just different now. I mean, it's not going to be poo-pooed like it used to be. So at least at the very least, it'll be taken seriously, whereas before it was not. That's a big change. That's a positive change, at least in some regard. Anywho, so I want to play a couple pre-recorded clips for our viewers. Just the one about the NASA announcing they're going to start investigating the UFO phenomenon, and then there's another clip of some actual stuff that was recorded out of the UK, I believe, just this last week or so. And that's a really, really good sighting video. It's got a ton of them in there, so I think you guys will find that interesting. All right.
vehicle has landed.
Tonight, NASA accepting a mission that so far has proven harder than landing a man on the moon. Now hoping to help answer the mystery of UFOs with a new study.
I think it's really exciting. It almost feels like opening a new book.
NASA's announcement coming on the heels of a new office set up at the Pentagon to investigate top-secret encounters between pilots and unidentified aerial phenomena flying in restricted airspace.
There's a whole fleet of them.
But unlike the Department of Defense, NASA says their findings won't be classified and could even include reviews of videos captured by civilians.
What is going on right now?
Up until recently, public sightings have gone mostly ignored by the scientific community, like this video captured by a film crew in the Utah desert of an object moving at extremely high speeds.
Having NASA be able to apply the scientific method to this and really rule out what these aren't first and starting from there is huge.
NASA says they hope to eventually cross-reference credible sightings with solid data like satellite images or atmospheric records. But as for what they are...
So far, we've seen NASA say that there's no evidence that this is extraterrestrial life. But does that mean that it's not extraterrestrial life?
I'm a scientist, and if somebody asks me, is this extraterrestrial life? Frankly, at this moment in time, the simple answer is the right one, which is I don't know.
A promise to keep an open mind and boldly study what no space agency has thoroughly investigated before. Gotti Schwartz, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
Yeah, we don't need to do all that, folks. You can ignore that last bit. They're on their way to their fall now anyway. At least the mainstream is. We're taking over, folks. There we go. And this is a sighting out of Sussex, England. On June of 2022. This last week and a half, 2 weeks or so. Within that time frame. I think it was like June 19th or 20th, something like that. Really close to it, really recently, actually, I believe. All right. Well, that was interesting, folks, wasn't it? So, okay, we have a few articles, several different sources that we're going to go through and cover that are just kind of UFO related. But several of them NASA, related from different sources and whatnot. And then we're going to kind of go. I'll go back and we'll. And then there's a couple other there's a couple PDFs or supposed Q drops apparently that I came across on one of my Telegram channels that I follow. So it would look fairly very fascinating. I wanted to share it with our viewers. So we're going to kind of read that a little bit, and then the end. There's two of them actually. So one's apparently CIA UFO released from like freaking 2002, I believe, or some shit like that. Anyways, excuse my language. But so let's see what we got here. We got let's see. Let me bring up our first article real quick. The New York Post article. All right, cool. All right, let me share my screen, and I will read, and our viewers can follow along. Okay. NASA announces first ever study on UFOs for national security and air safety. Okay. Now we're going to watch this little clip here. Searching for UFOs is no longer relegated to conspiracies with tinfoil hats. For the first time ever, NASA will be commissioning a team of scientists to study the unidentified aerial phenomena, colloquially known as UFOs, in the interest of Homeland Security. The Space Administration detailed the pioneering mission in a recent press release posted on their website. NASA believes that the tools of scientific discovery are powerful and apply here also, said Thomas Zurbuchen, the Associate Science Administrator at NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C. Per the report, the breakthrough research, which will cost no more than $100,000, will focus on identifying available data. Of course, they're only going to give it a $100K budget. That's that should tell you everything you need to know right there. That it's a freaking it's a dog and pony show to steer control back on of the whole issue. But it'll be a futile attempt regardless. We already know there's so much more going on. So, sorry about the little side note, but I had to put that out there. We'll focus on identifying available data and how NASA can use that data to move the scientific understanding of UAPs forward. The UFO reconnaissance mission was inspired by the fact that there are a limited number of recorded UAP observations, thereby making it difficult to draw scientific conclusions about such events. And here's a little saucer craft graphic, of course. Oh, no, I'm not going to subscribe to you, New York Post. Go screw yourself. I'm not paying for you guys for mainstream. You got another thing coming. Given the paucity of observations, our first task is simply to gather the most robust set of data that we can, said astrophysicist David Spergel, who will be spearheading the unconventional mission. We will be identifying what data from civilians, governments, nonprofits, companies exist, what else we should try to collect, and how to best analyze it. To help them achieve this lofty goal, the UAP recon team will be seeking input from experts in the scientific, aeronautics, and data analytics communities. NASA is not studying potential flying saucers for kicks. Unidentified phenomena in the atmosphere are of interest for both national security and air safety, reads the report. Establishing which events are natural provides a key first step to identifying and mitigating such phenomena, which aligns with one of NASA's goals to ensure the safety of aircraft. And there's a little screenshot of the U.S. Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence, Scott Bray, explains a video of a UAP as he testifies before a House Intelligence Committee subcommittee hearing in Washington, D.C. Naturally, searching for UFO as in the name of Homeland Security might sound like something out of Independence Day. However, while acknowledging that the controversial research could get them shunned by the scientific community, Zurbuchen said the team's not shying away from reputational risk. The Guardian reported, not to mention that there is no evidence UAPs are extraterrestrial in origin. Of course, they're always going to put that little bit out there. Whatever. Anyways, it's a distraction, right? Oh, of course, there's no. Yeah, okay. There's a lot more than most people realize. Per the NASA press release, the space magnate, for one, sees the undertaking as essential toward expanding our understanding of the unknown. We have access to a broad range of observations of Earth from space, and that is the lifeblood of scientific inquiry, he said. That's the very definition of what science is. That's what we do. There's a picture of the little tic-tac shaped craft that the video everybody's, I'm sure, is familiar with from the ATIP program released. This video that was released, that they were studying in ATIP a few years back. Anyway, so we got that. Nonetheless, the UFO chasers will be approaching the topic with a sense of humility, Spergel told The Guardian. I spent most of my career as a cosmologist. He said, I can tell you, we don't know what makes up 95% of the universe, and yada yada. It goes on and on. Just pretty tame article. So let's go on to the next one. I want to show you because I want to get through several of these. There's a lot of different stuff going on right here. So let's see. See what we got. The next one right here is from CNN. Of course, yeah, nobody freaking believes a damn word CNN says anymore. But of course, we're covering all our bases. Okay, to get multiple sources, like I had said before, and always tell people cross-reference multiple independent sources, and if they match up independently, where they match up, there's a good chance that that's very good chance that that's the truth. If they don't, then it's bullshit. Okay, but use discernment in multiple sources. That's what I do. Okay, but there's a lot of different. I'm just making a point here because they've already acknowledged it that it's real. Yada yada. So I mean, and this is just in the last few months that they've acknowledged that it was real. One, now NASA's going to study it, or it's officially announcing that they're looking into it seriously with serious investigation, scientific to investigate it. Literally, like they're not the way they would have back in the day, but that's historic in and of itself, I think. All right, so NASA's new chief is setting up an effort to further study unidentified flying objects within his first month in office. Bill Nelson, the former Florida senator and spaceflight veteran, told CNN business Rachel Crane during a wide-ranging interview on Thursday that it's not clear to anyone, even in the upper echelons of the U.S. Space Agency, what the high-speed objects observed by Navy pilots are. Nelson added that he does not believe UFOs are evidence of extraterrestrials visiting Earth. I think I would know if that were the case. Nelson said, yeah, everybody thinks that. Trust me. Even the one, yeah. Everybody thinks they're in the know, but most people don't realize they're really not. Ego is what allows them to think that, folks. Just a little homework lesson for you guys if you're inclined. Anyways, what the high-speed objects observed by the Navy pilots are. Nelson added that he does not believe the UFOs are evidence of extraterrestrials visiting Earth. I think I would know if that were the case, Nelson said, but he acknowledged it'd be premature to rule that out as a possibility. Nelson's comments echo the findings of a new Pentagon report expected to be released later this month. 5 sources familiar with the results of that study told CNN that U.S. intelligence officials found no evidence that the UFOs are alien spacecraft. But investigators have also have not reached a definitive assessment as to what these mysterious objects might be. We don't know if it's extraterrestrial. We don't know if it's an enemy. We don't know if it's an optical phenomenon. Nelson said, we don't think it's an optical phenomenon because of the characteristics that those Navy jet pilots describe. And so the bottom line is, we want to know. NASA Press Secretary Jackie McGinnis said Nelson did not establish a formal task force to begin investigating UFOs. However, he did direct researchers to move forward with exploring any lines of questioning around the topic as they see fit. So, anyways, same kind of gist there. Yeah, of course, they're acknowledging, yeah, we're studying it, we're looking into it, and we don't think the aliens, yada yada. Same routine, same old classic, problem reaction solution, or the way they like to spin the narrative, so people actually believe everything they're saying, which is half the time is 99% lies. Anyways, in the mainstream, these days. So we got this other thing by space.com. Okay, NASA hopes new study helps bring UFO research into the mainstream. Okay, one of the things that we tangentially hope to be part of the study is to help remove some of the stigma associated with it. NASA hopes it can help move the study of unidentified aerial phenomenon off the scientific fringes and into the mainstream. The agency announced today, June 9th, that it has commissioned a panel to investigate UAP, which is another term, a more modern term for UFO people, for those that don't know. A recent rebranding that is pushing out the more familiar term unidentified flying object. See, like I said, the NASA study will begin this fall. Take about 9 months to complete and cost no more than $100,000. That's not a very big freaking budget to investigate anything, really, if you ask me. It looks more like a dog and pony show smokescreen. I mean, that's pretty much all you'd be able to cover with that kind of a budget. Agency officials said during a call with reporters today, the main goal is to assess the state of the UAP data landscape and how it can be improved going forward. Okay, so it's a nice little clip. This is related to this article, so let's go ahead and listen to it. It's about 4 minutes 13 seconds long.
By the Congress is not only to do fundamental research in the skies and so forth, but as part of that also to find life elsewhere. That's why we've built astrobiology programs in many disciplines across the summary field that looks at both extinct life on Mars, for example, but also looks at patterns of life elsewhere, perhaps in Europe, perhaps in Enceladus as we go forward, but also as we look at exoplanets, planets outside of our solar system, looking for the question whether certain environments are in fact part of kind of if you want, the ladder of life that got us to where we are. So the tools that we're using, whether it's in this field or also kind of in fields that then go towards kind of intelligent life, such as techno-signatures, which we have programs for already, are the same tools that we use everywhere, the tools that we're frankly using here. And that is that we're commissioning a study to start early in the fall to examine unidentified aerial phenomena. The study will focus on identifying available data, how to best collect future data, and how NASA can use these data to move the scientific understanding of UAPs forward. A short way I would talk about that is take a field that is relatively data poor, make it into a field that is much more data rich and therefore worthy of scientific investigation and analysis. NASA's mission, of course, as I just said, is to explore the unknown in air and space. And we have access, frankly, as part of that, to a broad range of observations of Earth and space. And frankly, that's the lifeblood of our scientific inquiry. We have the tools and teams who can help us improve our understanding of the unknown. And we are prepared to use these powerful tools of scientific discovery, in this case, as much as anything else, using exactly the same kind of approach that we always use. Unidentified phenomena in the atmosphere of interest for many reasons. Frankly, I think there's new science to be discovered. There's been many times where something that looked almost magical turned out to be a new scientific effect. But there's also national security and air safety issues that have been discussed elsewhere that, of course, relate to these observations. And establishing, with events that are, whether they're natural or whether they are kind of need to be explained otherwise, is very much aligned with NASA's goals that ensure, of course, that we discover the unknown, but also ensures the safety of aircraft that, of course, are in that airspace that these phenomena occur. This independent study will be led by astrophysicist David Spergel, who's the president of the Simons Foundation in New York City, and has previously been the chair of astrophysics in the Department of Princeton and University of Princeton, New Jersey. Dan Evans, the Assistant Deputy Associate Administrator for Research, is the really kind of the wheels on the bus, kind of really making sure that we're interfacing with this. Some people may ask why David, why Dan. First of all, Dan, with his tremendous experience, both as a researcher but also as an enabler for research, his work that he did in the White House previously, I think, has tremendous insight into kind of the interagency aspect that relates to some of these discussions. And David Spergel, I think, to all of us in astrophysics, really understand that he's one of the most trusted voices in so many questions. Also a person who understands really the power of science and is willing and able to use that power of science kind of in areas where I would say kind of fall under that what we would refer to as high risk, high impact kind of research, kind of areas that many of the scientists may be a little bit more timid to walk in.
Okay. The study will now focus on identifying available data, how to best collect future data, and how NASA can use these data to move the scientific understanding of UAP forward. Thomas Zurbuchen, the Associate Administrator for Science at NASA headquarters in Washington, said during today's call. Or, in other words, take a field that is relatively data poor and make it into a field that is much more data rich and therefore worthy of scientific investigation and analysis. Such work is very much in NASA's bailiwick, Zurbuchen said, noting that the agency's many research priorities cover, among other things, the hunt for alien life, investigating mysterious cosmic objects and phenomena, and helping to keep American aircraft safe and secure. The first A in NASA stands for aeronautics. The UAP could represent a threat to planes and other aerial vehicles. And it goes on, of course, the same usual standard reasonings, and it's pretty much the same tone as the other three so far, I would say. But we're going to skip over to, I'm going to check out this America's Best Astrophysicists Are Taking UFOs Seriously article. Okay, this is a little bit, let's see, what was the date on this one, if I can remember. That was not, this is this year. This is June 10th, 2022. Okay, so here we go.
Okay. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's like another thing, it's rotating. Nickel 6-1 Tango Roger, over. Oh, got it! Woohoo! Roger, there's troubleshooting as soon as I... Did you box moving target? No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly!
NASA spent more than 60 years flying UFOs. Every spacecraft that ever visited the moon, landed on Mars, buzzed by Jupiter, orbited Saturn, or reconnoitered Pluto would be a decidedly unidentified flying object to any alien intelligence that might uncover it or encounter it. There may be no such intelligence beyond Earth and our solar system, but in interstellar space, that's another question. That's why the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 probes, which left the solar system in 2012 and 2018, respectively, carried golden records on their sides, etched with coded sounds and pictures from Earth. A message in a bottle to any civilization that might one day encounter the ships and want to learn more about the curious species that launched them. And we'll finish up this one. This is a good, kind of like a little bit slightly different article. It's a little bit better. I mean, reading wise, not really much information. Tone is a little bit more upbeat, though. UFOs or UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, as they're more decorously called today, have frequently been in the news lately. As I reported just last month, the House Intelligence Committee's Counterterrorism, Counterintelligence, and Counterproliferation Subcommittee conducted public hearings on more than 140 sightings by military pilots over the past 20 years of UAPs flying in all manner of inexplicable ways, bobbing, weaving, hovering, diving, changing direction with head-snapping speed that would produce potentially deadly G-forces to any living being, or at least any living human being in sight. Look at that thing, dude. One pilot shouted in a declassified recording made during a 2015 sighting. Oh my gosh, there's a whole fleet of them. I'm just replicating his excitement in that recording. They're going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots, 135 miles per hour west. Anyway, so that tells you what you need to know. That's fascinating that they're coming out like that. They started acknowledging that. Oh yeah, they're really. We always knew they were going to do it that way. Of course, they always do. Trickle, a little bit here, a little bit there, slowly but surely. But come on now, they've been prepping this shit for years. It's just I never thought that they would actually acknowledge it in my lifetime. To be honest, I had given up on them actually officially starting to acknowledge that whole thing for years and years. But I've been studying, like looking into this subject for since the late 90s at least. But I had just since given up on them ever freaking. But now that they're doing it, it's like, okay, cool. At least something. I was pleasantly surprised when I read that they're actually. It's going to give it. It shouldn't have to, mind you. But to some people, that's the only people that they will believe is the academic community. Which, of course, they could never be wrong. But God forbid they are ever wrong. They know everything. Come on, you guys. The whole reason for the basis of science is because it's the understanding that we don't know everything, and the whole point of science and facts, like some people like to tote that term around so much without even knowing what the fuck they're talking about. Sometimes I notice on certain places like Twitter, there's a couple people there. It's like, what the fuck? What the heck are you talking about? Do you even know what you're talking about? Anyway, so science, there's something called the scientific method. I just want to put this out there for those who don't know, and for those who might try and say, oh, facts, science, whatever, you know where I'm going with that. Okay, there's a scientific method. There's what's called, you have a hypothesis, what you think will happen. You do an experiment. The result of that experiment either confirms or disproves your hypothesis. Based on that, you move forward and go on to the next thing that you're trying to either prove or disprove. That's the basis of science. So the whole point is to think critically, do experimentation, look and observe objectively, because that's critical also. So it's common sense shit, people. I'm surprised people don't even know what the when they talk about science and facts, they don't know what the heck they're talking about, and it's like, wow, really uneducated sometimes. Some people can be. Anyways, so next article. Now, even NASA wants to talk about UFOs. And I think we just this is the other one. Yeah, we haven't covered this one yet. The world's top space agency has decided to lean into the discussion. We're not going to read too much of this. Going to kind of briefly go into it because it's pretty much the same as most of the rest. Because there's a couple of PDFs I want to get into that are more interesting than these articles. UFOs, after years of avoiding any serious discussion of such things. Oh yeah, I know it's the lighting. My camera's acting up. It's all right though. It's because the freaking filter and the shirt I'm wearing is kind of too close to the color of the background I got going on. It's all right. Let me fix that and just kind of scoot the mic or the camera back. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's try that. After years of avoiding any serious discussions of things, NASA is on it. The space agency announced yesterday that it will form a team dedicated to studying unidentified aerial phenomenon that cannot be identified as aircraft or known natural phenomenon. Starting this fall, the team will examine existing data on these objects and brainstorm new ways to collect future data. All the work, which NASA expects will last 9 months, will be done from a science perspective. Oh, did they just come up with that? Damn it. Sorry, folks. My camera came up there. Give me 1 second. Plug it in. Jesus. Can't believe that just happened. There we go. All right, let's stop the shit real quick. Let me just fix my camera real quick, you guys. Come on now. Damn it. You gonna work for me or what? Oh crap. Oh well, until I get my camera going, I'm just gonna continue reading the article. I don't need to be on camera for this, so let me just finish reading what I was reading then. Every now and then stuff like that happens, stuff you don't prepare for on that when you're going and doing a live, but it happens. Stuff that's out of your hands. You just kind of make sure the show goes on. UFOs, after years of avoiding any. Okay, so yada yada. All right, starting this fall, the team will examine existing data. Yada. Okay, we already read that. This is quite the turn of events. Oh wait, let's go back here. Starting this fall, the team will examine existing data on these objects and brainstorm new ways to collect future data. All the work, which NASA expects will last 9 months, will be done from a science perspective. This is quite the turn of events. Sure, there may have been, in people's minds, an association between the space agency and unidentified flying objects. The term UFO has been synonymous with alien spaceships the day it was coined in the 1950s, and one of NASA's missions to find signs of life beyond Earth. But today's announcement marked the first time that NASA had waded so publicly and this meaningfully into the broader UFO discussion in the agency's 64-year history. Not only has NASA changed its approach to reports of mysterious sightings in the sky, but it will build a UFO research team led by a respected astrophysicist and having public meetings about the results or its results. Okay, and it goes on and go on. Blah, blah, blah. We have the tools to do this and that. Yeah, okay, we don't need to read all that. But you get the gist of it, folks. Let's see, where were we here? Right there. Other source here we got. Okay. Well, okay, we already watched that video. So here we're going to go into the I'm going to show you guys the documents that I came across the other day. Hold on one second, folks. Let me bring it up here. Okay. There we go. Okay, we got two different ones here. All right, we're gonna share the shorter one first. It's only like 9 pages, but it's relevant, I think, to what's going on with this whole issue or the whole topic. Anyway, so we got this is a top secret UFO sensitive area, Central Intelligence Agency document allegedly. I don't know for sure if it's legit or not. I haven't yet to verify it, but I encourage everybody to do so, to come check it out, download it, and look it over and see what you find. Our audience, we're welcoming you to do that if you like. Anyway, so it says March 30th, 2002, Q status alert, top eyes only. Intelligence briefing, not to be released out to outside agencies, departments, executive, legislative, or judicial branches without proper internal authorization. This agency announces that the aging code has been permanently broken, making biological immortality a certainty. Please note, and Catherine, babe, this ties into what you were talking about earlier about the Human Genome Project. Okay, so this is when I saw this, I was like, oh crap, this is spot on with what you were talking about. All right, so please note that this is not a future event, and the data has been proven conclusively at this time through scientific testing. Now, mind you, I'm still trying to see that and confirm this. I don't know if it's legit or not, but I think it's definitely interesting for sure, to say the least. And the data has been proven conclusively at this time through scientific testing. Clarification, biological, physical immortality, or the problem of death and dying has been conquered permanently. The Human Genome Project, under direction of the several intelligence community agencies, Trine, Umbra, Sacred, Jehovah, Majestic, Zodiac, Spiritual, Environment, and Medea, has conquered mortal physical death. Okay, data. Using information recently disseminated from the former USSR, which this agency, this is back in 2002, you guys, okay, for context of time, what time frame this took place in, which this agency and others have been working with on various UFO extraterrestrial projects, including other countries' file activity. This agency received conclusive information on tested data concerning biological immortality. Extraterrestrial data received as far back as 1952 yielded the following conclusive information. It's not letting me do my camera, is it? Nope, it's not. Oh well. Guess I'll have to come on camera after the show next time. I mean, we're pretty much through. I wanted to cover these 2 PDFs and a couple other things, folks, but we'll just get through these and then we'll probably wrap it up after that. If we just, I'll have a couple people on here. I definitely want to get some of the team's input on what we're just going over before we do that first. But anyways, let me finish reading this up. Okay. Intelligence briefing. Okay, I got it. We did that. Okay, so okay, here we go. Now this is one of 9 points I think they're talking about here. Believe. Yeah, 9, that's correct. All right. 1, all physical, animal, and or human beings are in actuality, for lack of a better word, spirits attached to a human/flesh container. Conclusive testing on animal and or human subjects shows this can now be proven or positively identified and proven. There is a physical/mental mechanism which prevents this data from becoming too closely and easily detected. Distortions of the data occur when mentally observed more closely. An example of this would be the common idea that human beings are made of flesh and have a soul. The correct data. Oh my God, go away. Sorry, folks. Okay. Goodbye. I hate it when that happens. Sorry, folks. There is a physical mental mechanism which prevents data from being too closely from becoming too closely and easily detected. Distortions of the data occur when mentally observed more closely. An example of this would be the common idea that human beings are made out of flesh and have a soul. The correct data would be human beings are a spirit and attached to a body of flesh, which is interesting that they're like, that's fascinating that they're even like talking about this. Like, I was like, whoa. Again, has yet to be vetted, but definitely interesting to say the least. 3, it is because of this mental, physical distortion that those reading this briefing will have a hard time fully comprehending it and the magnitude of the information contained within. Studies show when something is unclear and not understandable, that repeated reading of the same material can and will clear up any misunderstandings. It will take several readings by each individual for this information to become clarified. 4, triggers to this negative mental mechanism which create the distortions are linked directly to fundamentalist world religions as belief systems. The more fundamentalist the belief, the more strongly this mechanism is activated. Fundamentalism is hereby defined as strict and literal interpretation of holy books and scriptures from found in all major world religions. The trigger is not completely set in motion with non-fundamentalist religions. Thus, the mechanism does not have some effect with all religions. Religions that promote an afterlife which is better than present Earth life have the strongest activation trigger. This then links to a secondary trigger which promotes quicker aging. This is due to the presumed fact on the part of the human subject that death is preferable to living and directly connected to thinking that afterlife will be beyond any pleasure the current life can offer. The mechanisms also contain a doomsday effect. They bring into motion worldwide but man-made cataclysms through the above stated collective unconscious triggers, parts A and B. Every human being has these triggers. They are intensely activated as aging continues. Since as old age and physical death nears, religious concepts become more important to the populace. 9, because of mental distortion mentioned in item 2, individual humans under the effect of the triggers think a higher power or being, mostly referred to as God, directs these cataclysmic events, the doomsday effect. It is believed, notice how it has in quotes, believed, on the part of the human subjects that God will destroy their particular religion's enemies and usher in a better world for members of their same religion or sect. Yada, yada, yada. Of course, that's everybody thinks. We got to step outside of that mindset and take a step back and look at the bigger picture, what's going on here, because it's, we create our own reality. That's what this document's touching on. Okay, here, all right, folks, this is true of all people affected by these mental triggers, no matter what their religion. Important. A, the belief that God directs these events is incorrect. B, these events are man-made through self-fulfilling prophecy tailored to each individual religion and its interpretation of end-of-the-world events by individuals. Okay. And he's talking about whatever the mass consciousness of people believe, they're going to manifest that reality because that's what they believe. That's what they expect to happen. What people don't realize is we create our reality externally. What everything we see around, that's our whole perception of it, how we view it, how we look at it, whether it be good, bad, physical, non-physical, whatever. It is it's all based on how we look at it, how our perception or our lens is skewed based on our upbringing, some part of it is a little bit genetic, but it's not just that, it's your upbringing, what you learn, what you've been taught, what you've been conditioned. And people don't really think about that, but we have been conditioned to think everything's outside of it. It's really not. We create our own reality, we just don't realize it. We'll go more into that later because it's a lot of fascinating experiments that were done with with quantum mechanics and shit a few years back, where they talk about the observer, the object being observed has a different outcome the minute it's the outcome of it is different the minute you observe it than it is when you're not. Okay, so it has to do with the it's kind of like the Schrodinger's paradox almost. It ties into that a bit, where something is in two separate states simultaneously, and that ties into quantum mechanics and quantum physics, and I believe quantum what do they call it, quantum tunneling too, if I remember correctly, what the correct term would be for that. Quantum tunneling, yes. Okay, I don't know if that's exactly what the term is that I'm trying to describe, but there is something that we are talking about, things around the right angle there. Anyways, so there's a lot of different. What they're talking about is that people are creating these things to happen because they're manifesting it on a collective conscious level, basically. Okay, all right. So we go to C. These individuals then work either alone or in concert with each other. Sorry, you guys, if I'm rambling a little bit. It's been a long day, so I'm trying and read this as quickly and clearly as I can. So I apologize again. It's been a long day. Good day, but a long day. These individuals then work either alone or in concert with each other, unknowingly through the trigger mechanisms described, to bring about planetary self-destruction and the end of the human race. D. It is the interpretation and carrying out of these actions by humans which is causing the doomsday effect to occur. E. Man is causing and fulfilling these actions and scenarios, not God. It is many interpretations by many different faiths. Okay. The only effect these triggers have is the total destruction of the entire human race and an end of the world scenario, with escalating terrorism and extensive nuclear and biological world war becoming a certainty. 10. It is unclear at this time how these mechanisms were originally transferred to the human populace. Although there are various theories, it is only clear that items I through 9 or 1 through 9 are true and proven solutions. Current data since February 2002. NASA has been successfully coordinated under various cover stories, but behind the scenes, planetary exploration of our solar system is high priority, Class A status, due to the effect of the trigger mechanisms being in full effect since September 11, 2001. The computer matrices used by this bureau and those of the other coordinating worldwide intelligence agencies indicate with 99.99% accuracy that since 9/11, extinction of the human race is imminent unless other planets are colonized quickly. And this is like back in 2002, where everything was at as far as the timelines, I think, go. That's what they're talking about. I mean, it ties into that, I believe. We are apparently on one timeline right now from what I have what I've been able to glean from the research I've been able to stuff I've been able to look into and corroborate, at least from my own perspective and from other stuff, Anyway, that's just my perspective on that. Anyway, so let's go back to this. So now, most importantly, the BI project, the Biological Immortality Project, has been completed. The completion of this project was a necessary step due to the amount of time it takes for interplanetary travel to outreaching star systems that have planets which can sustain life and have similar ecosystems to Earth. Given enough time, our technological advancements under the direction of ETs would have been sufficient for interplanetary travel without Biological Immortality Project. Due to the shortage of time, biological immortality was an easier project to complete with the information gleaned from the relatively new Human Genome Project. We are requesting at this time a full list of those who must be immediately rescued from the current trigger situations underway planet-wide. Those to be contacted must be of sound scientific mind and body, as well as clear of any religious affiliation that would allow the triggers virus to continue once outside home plan range. After top-level personnel are transported to other parts of humanity, will be salvaged as time allows. And I think these are like different scenarios and stuff for what they were think, hypothetical or scenarios they were hypothetically planning for, contingency plans, more or less. You got to do that when you're like, especially when you're fighting a war, or you're fighting like a psyop or any of that. Like, that's really, really critical. You got to have all those different contingencies covered. Anyways, it's a classic CIA, right out of the CIA handbook, if you ask me. Let's see. The worldwide intelligence community's plan isn't that any part of the human race should be lost, but instead, the best be saved first. Projects that are a way to implement the protocol quickly is not. Now, I just want everybody to understand. I'm not like, this is none of this stuff, because it's really a lot of fear mongering, and a lot of really, stuff that might put a lot of people in the fear space. This is back in 2002 when this was put together. So like, none of this is even, all this is, been avoided, more or less, you guys. Just from what I've seen. But let's go ahead and finish it up, because I want everybody to understand. I thought it was an interesting PDF to show, because it tied kind of into what I've always believed. We create our own reality, and I kind of wanted to point out a couple things that I thought were insightful for that. So, okay, so here we go. All right. While it is understood that biological immortality for the entire human race is a huge undertaking, it is also noted that the applied problem solution matrix, that once a biological immunity or immortality is implemented, the triggers will cease to function, thus ending the majority of Earth conflict and war. Yada yada yada. The matrix continues by stating that not all conflict will end, but will become manageable by applying workable solutions. The matrix calculates that the biological immortality will have a far-reaching effects for planetary human salvation. Once everyone possible has obtained BI successfully, worldwide peace will be more easily achieved. Yada, yada, yada. Environmental, food, and energy concerns will be handled, and afterwards, the human race will be able to return to Earth if desired. Yada, yada, yada. The matrix shows that those who do not opt for BI will cease to be part of the problem in due time, since BI is a prerequisite for planetary colonization escape, and the trigger mechanisms will simply carry themselves to completion, thus cleansing the virus and allowing planetary rebooting. I don't think they're talking about a physical virus in this particular document. They were using that as a reference for whatever these trigger mechanisms and negative destructive cataclysmic outcome timelines or whatever are, basically. Those with trigger mechanisms will be given the opportunity to pursue biological immortality, all only after the triggers have been eliminated. And this is it seems like a plan or a playbook for like how they're going to deal with shit after, when they're like limited on resources out in space trying to survive. That's what it looks like to me, just based on that. From what they're saying here. Anyway, so since these triggers are intimately connected with personal religious beliefs, care will be taken to not violate the protections given to religion under the U.S. Constitution or similar protective. Back then maybe they were really, it's funny that the way things are now, because they completely threw that freaking book right out the freaking window the last couple of years, you guys. Shit. Don't even get me started on that. I'm not going to go there right now because we're streaming on YouTube and we're just going to cover the UFO issue today. But anyways, everybody knows where I'm coming from on that, I believe. At least I would imagine they do. All right. The entire plan stated above must be executed within a 10 to 50 year timeline starting from the date of this briefing. Yada, yada, yada. This survival rate for the human race decreases exponentially every year after the first 10 until the 50th year is reached, resulting in escalating in more insurmountable problems, which would make completion escape near impossible. Yada, yada, yada. All right. Last page. NASA is to be given appropriate funding for their part of the project. Bypassing normal channels for funding will be used to expedite the process. The Human Genome Project will receive continued funding as agreed. Bypassing normal channels for funding will be used to expedite the process. All phases of this project are to be put into effect immediately. Bypassing the normal channels for funding and strategy implementation will be used to expedite the process. The acting president of the United States, along with other country leaders, U.S. and others, will form their own cover stories concerning space exploration after they become briefed as to the seriousness of this information and the outcome of the scenario if action is not taken to expedite biological immortality and colonization. And briefing. Anyways, that was that. It was 9 pages. I'm not going to go through and read the next one because it's like 200 something. So we're not even going to go there. But it's got a lot of it looks pretty fascinating. I'm not entirely sure it's a couple links. Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely got a lot of good stuff here, you guys. So it's got like freaking, 3 parts, like 29 chapters, right? And a lot of these chapter titles are stuff that's right up my alley. Okay. Let's see. There's a couple here I thought were really fascinating. Okay. A world between dimensions, pyramids of light, History lesson from the future, rest and recreation, Ghost in the Machine. Anyways, they got a lot of fascinating, spiritual, if you will, philosophical kind of content in here. Something I haven't really had a chance to go and look through it yet, you guys, and I kind of wanted to take the time to do that. I'm gonna do that for like one of our future episodes, but I'll be providing it in the description, the links to these, you guys. I think they're already there actually. But yeah, it's fascinating. You want to give your 2 cents? Jen, I seen you jumped on here. You want to put your input on this whole UFO thing? What's going on with all that? If you want, or if you want to too, Kat, you're welcome to, but you don't have to.
Well, I'll have to watch the replay because I missed most of it, but it kind of sounds like they had a plan. Mm-hmm. How they were going to carry it out, and that's what it sounded like to me, the way that you were reading it. Excuse me. And yeah, I encourage people to do their research. Don't take just, but it'll be amazing what you will find.
Yeah, my camera working back again. Go ahead.
So that I'm done. I just wish I would have jumped on earlier. I didn't know.
No, I was late getting this shit going. Anyways, I was supposed to be doing it at 2, and then I had a little minor emergency. I had to take care of here at the house, and then didn't even get started till like 2-3 hours late. So it didn't really exactly pan out how I wanted it to, but it's all right. We'll do a more intense, more involved episode probably next week. It's been a long couple of days, you guys.
So somebody messaged me.
I'm kind of exhausted.
Yeah, you were reading. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
And they said, do you believe in UFOs? I'm like, yeah. And they asked if I saw one, and I said on ET, and
I've seen a few. It's just in the last couple of years. I've seen.
Well, yeah.
This guy's like, whoa. They were like going right angles and turning on a dime and just really weird.
Yeah.
Really weird.
I was like, what is that in the sky? It was really actually fascinating. I'm like, wow. And the thing that got me, no, I won't go there. I won't say it, but yeah, I just
go ahead.
I'm fascinated. It's amazing. It's going to be amazing when everything comes out. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And do you think maybe that it's coming out because of their whole
well, I think that their hand's been forced. I think their hand's been forced already, and they already know it. But that's why they've been freaking out and being desperate. At least the deep state, and relative to how they're acting, the last couple of years versus before that,
So what they're telling us what?
Huh?
I said so now they're letting us know what's going on.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. I mean, this happened last April, so
like
but I mean, if you ask me, I don't mean, to me, everything the mainstream media is doing, every thing they're covering, and every angle, the way they're covering it, to me, it's obvious they're trying to take back control of the disclosure narrative before to kind of bring in the reins on it. But it ain't gonna last. They're not gonna succeed. I mean, they're already too far gone. We're witnessing the collapse of the deep state, folks. At least that's what I believe.
Isn't there more stuff coming out? And I'm just curious if they're putting it out there, because of the Project Bluebeam.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
reports that that's been dismantled, but then maybe they might try to attempt something similar to that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what their last card is. But
you know what I mean? Just kind of curious. Like, okay, so why are they letting us know now after not telling us nothing? So that's my only feedback on it.
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense after years and years and decades of making people sound like they're crazy, targeting people, making them come. I mean, come on. You're all of a sudden, honestly, the fact that they're doing that now, all of a sudden, like as if they're the only ones that have the right to control, and give the information out, which is total bull, by the way, because why else are they doing that? Because they want to control it, because they can't control all the flood of other information that's coming out and all this other stuff. People are realizing that they were lying to us about everything.
Yep. Everything.
Yep.
Everything.
Everything. So
Uh,
it's been a long day. I mean, I need to get some sleep. It's been well, it's been a little bit of a hectic day. Let's just say the least. When I was right about to
Has it?
start the
Is
podcast,
Kat on here?
having to do a family emergency, huh?
Is your girlfriend on? Is your fiance on here?
I think she jumped off already.
Oh, I was gonna say hi to her.
She just was she was jumping on because I told her I invited her to listen. I didn't think anybody else was gonna show up, so I was like, "Well, cool, jump on with me." She just wanted to listen and watch me work, so I said, "Cool, awesome." I invited her to show. I love
Well,
when someone jumps on here and watches
yeah,
me work.
it's cool, huh? Because you're
Yeah.
like so. I think it's it's so much. Yeah, I like it too. I liked it. I could sense her presence. It was cool.
Nice. Right on.
Or present, but yeah. So I need to talk to you in a little bit whenever you get a chance.
About what?
Oh, just nothing. I mean, nothing serious.
Well, I mean, we're on the air right now, so
I
mean,
know. That's what
well,
I'm saying.
what can you give me a clue? What is it like?
Oh, just
wanting me to help you fix the
something.
computer.
Well, I mean that too, but that's not what it is. Just
Well,
something.
okay. Well, can we talk about it when we're not like broadcasting?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't like having big conversations like that. If it's, I mean, if you can't tell me what it is, let's that sounds really. I don't like the way that sounds.
No, it's nothing that. No, it's nothing bad. No.
What is it?
No, I'll talk to you.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
All righty. So, is there any more things you want to touch on that, or I'm going to put the documents and the links, but
no,
they're
I don't
already
think
in the
so.
description. The links are already in the description, I believe. If they're not, the last two of the PDFs, I'll put them in there in the morning. It's been a long day, you guys, but anyways, we'll do another episode like this. This kind of didn't go how we planned, so I'm just gonna wrap it up, and we'll call it a broadcast for tonight, you guys. It's been a rough day, kind of like up and down. Things didn't quite pan out how we expected, so it's all right though. It happens. So yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up then, I guess, and have a good night, everybody. Sorry about the late delay in the show. Didn't quite plan out how we intended. So good night.
Night.
And also my filter's freaking acting up like a fool right now. Look at it's just just the talking head in space right now.
Oh gosh. Okay.
All right. Yeah, everything's going whack right now. All right, you guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. Good night, everybody. We'll do Friday. We got some updates with the tips, techniques, and survival traits episode 16, and then upcoming Sunday is the last Sacred Lovisa that I will be hosting, because I will be going on vacation the next weekend to visit my fiance and spend some time with her. So that being said, Angela Dottie will be taking over for that Sunday, and I'll be taking that weekend off, you guys. Anyways, good night, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels, our pages. Check out our news4us.world website, and we will see